Hey gang, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I do appreciate you stopping over. It was probably that catchy title once again that got your attention. Hey, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, right? Well, today's video is the Yakima roof rack system. Now, I just got these recently this past week from my buddy Josh over at Lolo Overland Outfitting. And if many of you don't know, you can, maybe there'll be a link up here, or just check the playlist for the Northwest Overland Rally from 2019. I interviewed Josh regarding his company and what he does, and it was really good group of guys over there. Really good hospitality when we were hanging out. I liked what he was doing, and being a small business owner and just starting out, I wanted to share his story. Well, Josh, I reached out to him because I wanted to get some roof racks or something for my canopy, for my Leer canopy. And the company I got my canopy from, they were not very cordial, very nice and to deal with. So I reached out to a couple other places, and they're kind of like, eh. And well, they were expensive. So I contacted Josh and said, hey, you know, what is it that I need to put on my truck, on the canopy, to do like a platform or you know, like if I want to do a rooftop tent or things like that, what could I use? So I sent him dimensions, some pictures. He told me exactly what I needed, and he sent it out to me. So that was awesome. So thank you, Josh. I do appreciate that. So today's video is, I want to show you guys what it is these racks are, because maybe some of you might be like me and you're not really sure what to use or what not to use. I didn't know, and I was going to go on the cheap and do these little square tubes and such, and I thought maybe I can make something and get hodgepodge in. I didn't want to do that. So Josh hooked me up with these things. So I'm going to take them out of the back here, show you what I have, and let's go through the installation real quick, because I've never installed these before. Alrighty gang, so this is cool. I'm actually kind of excited about this. This is new stuff here. These little boxes are called landing pads. Landing pad 1, matter of fact, in case that matters, because I learned that there's actually several different landing pads. Now what this landing pad is, from what a little bit of looking into I did, the landing pad actually is the piece that goes into the track itself, and that your feet here, your streamline system, Skyline towers. So hey, he does not like crows, and then there's this, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a squirrel or something back here behind us. So hey, come here, let's just say hi to everybody. You gonna say hi to everyone? So anyhow, he's probably thinking, whoo, there's nobody here, Dad. So the Skyline tower is really nice because it's a 4-piece set here, and they give you even a little tool to put them all together and directions. So the towers, these towers, okay, this is the tower, and the tower actually attaches to this pad. So the pad goes in the track, the tower goes onto the pad, and then these here, these Corebars, of course, they go across from side to side. So I'm really looking forward to it. Now Josh was telling me, I was talking about the square tube and steel and the round stuff, and oh, I don't even have a knife with me. I left my knife in the truck. Hold on. So the Corebar here, as soon as I get this open up, was really slick. He says they're actually very strong and definitely very durable for what it is that I would want to do, like a rooftop tent and such. So now they come packaged really nice, really cool. There, they have these little ends on there. Oh, that's cool. It's like a little plastic end that keeps them stable from banging around and everything. But there we go. That's nice. Wow, they're stout actually. They're aluminum, but wow, that's cool. I don't know if I can get this in the camera or not. I've never seen these before. They're aluminum, but look at this. It's like a really thick coating, and I don't know what that is, because it feels, this black part feels like paint, but it looks like a really hard plastic, and it's coated. So we have a coated aluminum, and it's got a really nice little wing to it, and really slick. I mean, wow. Guys, these are really stout. Holy cow. I am super impressed with this. Oh man, that's really nice. Wow. I'm liking that. Now my only concern is a lot of stuff like rooftop tents and racks, I thought they had bolts that attached somehow. So I'm gonna have to figure out exactly what it is that, if I were to do a rooftop tent, how do they attach to this? Because this is so smooth and round, I don't know how anything would attach to them. But maybe also there's a whole package of things here that maybe, oh look, okay, there's okay, this might be it too. There's these little tiny parts here. Okay, so this actually looks like it might be the answer to my question. I got something running around the bushes. There we go. So this looks as if it goes around the bar itself. So this is aluminum, and this goes, the bar goes inside that, and it's threaded right there. So that would lead me to believe that this screws down. Maybe something would go onto the bar, and this is what something would attach to. But that's kind of small bolts there. So interesting. I'm gonna have to read through the directions here real quick and go through some of this and see exactly what I would know I need. I know the pads are definitely something, and the Skyline towers are that. But I've seen crossbars before that have they have like a track down the middle of it, meaning the bar itself has a big groove that goes down it, and I thought that's where bolts would attach. If you had to do a rooftop tent or a platform, you would slide the bolt into that track, into this, and then it would attach. So, I don't know. At the making of this video, it's a weekend, so I can't get in touch with Josh. Well, I could, but it's his birthday, I think, too. So, I guess let's get parts. I'm gonna see if I need some, I'm sure I need screwdrivers and such like that, and let's get installing this. Hey gang, so here we have it. Probably kept a lot of the video out because it was a little daunting, actually. I had a couple of breaks in between. I had to do some other running around and some such that came up, but got them up. A little bit challenging, I have to say. Not the, oh, let me switch arms here. Not the, I guess not the best of directions. They're okay, but there were a couple of questions that I had that I wasn't finding in the directions. I just had to stumble across and learn. Also, my buddy Chris came by, and we ended up, kind of helped me here. Let me get you set up here. He kind of helped me a little bit with some of it, and so what ended up happening is, you know, we just kind of problem solved it and kind of got through it all. But a couple of things that were really cool. First and foremost, yeah, another shout out again to Josh Lolo Overland. One of the neatest little things about Yakima's rack system here is they give you this little tiny, it looks like a screwdriver in a way, but it has this Allen head right here, this kind of Torx head, and it's a Allen key. I think it's like 3.5 or something like that. But what's really cool is, I can't make it do it now, but it's actually a torque wrench. So when you're tightening some of the bolts on the rack system, this is a torque wrench. So as you tighten, when you get it to that point, you're like, God, this is getting real tight. I'm afraid I'm gonna strip it. Click, 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 click. You're good to go. So really cool thing for Yakima to do that. That was awesome. I have never had anybody provide you your very own torque wrench. You know, granted, you can't change it out now. It's only good for their rack and for this one particular application. But really slick. I like that. Also, now what I have left over is these little Yakima. These are the pads. These cover the pad, so when you want to take the rack off and you don't want to drive around with the rack and you just want to keep a low profile, you put this on here. Now the rack has the risers have these little tiny things right here. This is what it is, and this little thing actually connects into the riser, and you put it in there. It's got a little tiny foot right here. It goes in, you kind of turn it, it locks it in place. It helps you lock the risers from coming off, and then this kind of just plugs right in there. It kind of snaps in place. So that's kind of neat that they give you these things. I don't know if it's an anti-theft thing. I'm thinking that if anybody knows about Yakima stuff, which a lot of people do, I guess, they could take it off. The good thing about being in a truck, you got to be at least 6 foot to kind of start reaching over to really get anything into there. So with that being said, I like it. I think it's a really stout system. I'm very pleased with it. There's no channel on the top of the crossbars. I don't know how a rooftop tent or any type of rack system or anything, I don't know how it'll attach to this. I'm new to all that, so I'm gonna have to look into it and learn a little bit, but ask around or something. But a rack, a rooftop tent, those are things that would be nice to have. Especially with doing stuff with my son. Mostly my daughter and my daughter's not too bad at it. She'd do it a little bit. My wife's, she doesn't mind it too much, but you know, my son and I are really into it, so it's gonna be kind of like that for right now. Plus it'll be good, you know, to do the overlanding trips and such, or just do some really weekend camping, some weekend landing. Instead of overlanding, we'll do weekend landing. Something like, I think that sounds pretty cool, right? Weekend landing. There's a new word. But it was pretty cool. Like, again, I thought it was pretty cool about Yakima providing that. That was nice. Everything else put together fairly well. If I got any links or anything, I'll leave them down below. But mostly there'll be a link for Lolo down below there. Leave Josh's link down there because he's the one that hooked me up with all this stuff. So I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you very much, sir. Other than that, gang, I do appreciate it. Hopefully there's some content in this video. Like I said, I was struggling, then it got really sunny. I'm wearing sunglasses. Then the track system on my canopy, the Leer that I got, I had the track, so the Leer canopy is more reinforced for weight bearing. Well, the screw, I had to take these little ends off of the track to be able to slide these little metal feet in there that the pad's attached to, and I had to unscrew it. Well, I had to reach underneath because there's a nut and a washer and such in the canopy, and then there's this number 3 Torx on top, and so I had to redo those two. And then I went and I just had some caulking, so I applied a bunch of 100% silicone black that I actually happen to have some. Once I did this all and I got them in, I went and put some silicone in there and slid them back in place and screwed it back down, tightened it all up. And I had to make sure I didn't tighten the screws too much because then these little black caps that cover the nuts, they wouldn't go in there because I screwed too tight, so I had to back it up a little bit. So that was a little challenging trying to reach around, do those two things, and it was kind of awkward to try to record stuff. It's really hard to do it, especially outside. It's so bright outside right now. It got really warm and sunny that the truck being silver, I put the camera on there, I tried doing a couple of views, and everything else gets completely blacked out because it's so bright otherwise. So I didn't do any video on that, but it's fairly simple. I'm sure there's probably better video out there for you guys to check it out, but I do appreciate you stopping over again. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. And don't forget that bucket thing. Take care.